champ des possibles ne me sont pas étrangers. Depuis que j'en ai conscience, mon esprit ne cesse d'errer. J'ai toujours imaginé mon moi futur sous de nombreuses formes, souvent au détriment de mon identité présente. Qui je suis vraiment est une question avec laquelle je lutte. Comme mon apparence, mes façons de penser et mes valeurs évoluent sans cesse, il devient essentiel de reconnaître comment, consciemment comme inconsciemment, j'intègre le monde qui m'entoure dans la construction de moi-même. Cette période de confrontation avec qui je suis réellement est à la fois profondément humble, éclairante et inspirante.
Inspiration derives from everywhere. Films, videos, images. It's taking in cultures and aesthetics, even ancient artifacts like books, nature, sounds, sights, colors. Yet most of the images we absorb aren't equal. Many derive from positions of power, shaping us before we realize. Not all inspiration is neutral. To be inspired is to take something in. It's stagnant unless acted upon. But even in its undeveloped form, that planted seed pays a cost, whether it's to someone else or the muse. That cost is the risk of absorbing or perpetuating limited representations. Privileged positions dominate the media, flattening it, when differences are crucial for balance. Inspiration should flourish from the identity we already know, act as an addition to ourselves, not box us in, without ability to advance. Representation privileges certain bodies, shaping what we learn to see as natural. This isn't just cultural theory, it's a blueprint for understanding how inspiration works. If images shape us, then what we're shown and what's missing sets the boundaries of our imagination, who we can become, what we can create. Inspiration comes with this cost. What we absorb sinks beneath awareness. The subconscious can't tell the difference between admiring and aspiring toward. Questions of originality, authenticity, the muse. What we call original is often a remix of what we've internalized, and what we internalize is structured by representation. If we aren't conscious of our sources, the very things that inspire us can begin to erase not only our own voices, but the voices of others. Inspiration becomes self-erasure when we absorb without awareness. The media reflects who we are, but it also tells us who we can be, who we should be, who we're allowed to be. Privilege equals overvisibility. When one group's perspective becomes the norm, others are left to pay this cost. This push-dominant representation causes internal impact and alters others' voices by limiting self-recognition. As Daniel D. Contreras writes in New Queer Cinema, this imbalance produces a desire, quote, to be perceived a certain way, end quote. A pressure to align ourselves with normative, white, heterosexual ideals because those are the identities media most rewards. When these narrow images we see are internalized, we shape ourselves to fit in them. A problem for any party. Inspiration becomes aspiration, and this aspiration then becomes self-policing. This is the mechanism of self-policing. When certain identities dominate the screen, we internalize their limits as our possibilities. Tickling my fancy at the moment are French cinema, surrealism, westerns, dystopian worlds, and animations. Merging into my everyday life, I see these through choices in music, outfits, art, decor. Throughout the past few years, from experience and enlightening myself, I've noticed different cultures and aesthetics slipping into my identity. Recently, it's been clear in my personal life that aesthetic borrowing without understanding is flattening. When does inspiration become imitation? When does it become self-erasure? Without conscious engagement, one risks losing what's uniquely theirs. When art hides racialized, queer, and foreign differences, we lose complexity and alternate ways of viewing the actual piece itself and the world around us. Erasure destroys possibility. Why would we want to be limited by images that don't reflect the fullness of the world we live in? Never have I considered myself an artist up until this past year. Now, as I further create media pieces, I want my art to be a space where external inspiration collides with internal memory, where I build from childhood fears, longing, and emotions. Inspiration always has a cost. The images and cultures we draw from shape our creativity, but when representation privileges certain identities, what we internalize can flatten our imagination and narrow our sense of self. Representation is architecture. We build from what we see, so we must choose our influences consciously. By understanding both the cultural and psychological mechanics of inspiration, we can transform influence into something ethical, intentional, and authentically our own.